The best salespeople in the world are the ones who do it without you even noticing. Everyone's a salesperson, especially if you're an entrepreneur. In the I'm Not Salesy podcast, join me, Cassie McKenzie, and my fabulous guests as we dive into the top strategies, mindset, and energetics around sales and money so that you can hear more, yes, I'm in, instead of crickets or getting ghosted. So if you're ready to fully book out your programs with aligned AF clients and have people chasing you down in your inbox, asking how to work with you, then subscribe to this podcast today and become not salesy too. Well, welcome to Sales in Your Sleep, day 2. Let me move my microphone out of the way here. Now, on the first day, we went through a lot of like the strategy behind putting together your passive funnel and even had the breath work for, pulling out what kind of offer and which offer and like your thoughts about it on what you're going to, put on a passive funnel system to put the fun inside funnel. And so today we're going to look at the other side of the coin, okay? Because since today we're going to put a little bit of a spin on it because we're focusing on your motivation to make money. Because your motivation is going to be your money maker. And sometimes we attach rules to that, right? So you might have all the motivation in the world when you first come up with a program, but then when you go to put it out into the world and you see, how many people are showing up or what kind of response you're getting, it might make your motivation go down or your confidence around the program go down. And also, you might attach certain rules to when you can have motivation or not, and you unconsciously do this. That's why we do breath work, and the breath work compounds on itself. So if you're doing these breath works every single day, you're going to start to remove layers and layers and layers off of, old stuck beliefs that really don't serve you or me or anybody in the world at all. Any doubts, the stories that you tell yourself about who's going to buy and when they can buy and what they're going to buy and why. And, I think I reflected back as I was, putting this together. I reflect back on my sales career. And a lot of times I feel like it's not so much what I know about sales. I mean, I've forgotten more about sales than most people know about it. And I'm still drawn to sales trainings and buyer psychology and all the strategies and things like that. But like, really, what my understanding and my genius comes from experiencing the sales life for over 2 decades, seeing where people fall off the rails or lose their motivation, seeing how leaders interact with other leaders. And, I've like when I've been on a sales team, there's the motivation has to come from you, right? And also, you are going to get a source of motivation from your leader. Well, there could be good or bad leaders there too. Like I've been on sales teams with leaders that people would fall on a sword for. And the team ends up doing super well and the guy's really dynamic or the girl actually I haven't really had that great of experience with female managers, to be honest. Like a lot of my best ones were guys. I don't know if it was just like the teams I ended up on or what, but like I've had great female mentors. Let me put it that way. And in like the coaching world. I'm digging myself a hole here, aren't I? Anyway, but when you've got like when you're on a sales team, you've got a manager. Like I have seen managers that sat there and were like their sales reps just they look like they'd rather stab their eyes out with pencils than sit in this meeting for another 5 minutes. And maybe listening skills aren't good or support skills aren't good. And what it ends up with is a really demotivated sales team that doesn't really feel like they need to stick their neck out or go the extra mile. And so, how this translates into you selling your offers as part of your own sales team as a business owner, that like you rely on self motivation and building that momentum from your ability to get your energy behind your offers and your products and your services that you're selling, as well as like, turn this into a ball of motivation to make sales. And then you get the option to get support from a mentor who absolutely can help you. Like, I'm really great at messaging. Like, my one of my mentors called me like, "You're a wordsmith." Oh my God. And I was like, I still get into my own little holes and ruts around like, what am is my messaging good? Like, what should I say? What is my how do I say this the best way? I'll even like put too much on a story slide and like somebody else looks at it and they're like, this might help if it's like this, looks, broken out like this. Like that just happened this week. And I was like, oh my God, thank you for showing me that. But like you have you ever heard the if you've ever heard the phrase like you can't see the label from inside the bottle. Okay. So that's the beauty, obviously, and this is not like a talk to convince you to get a mentor, but I'm just illustrating your motivation is going to have to come from you unless you invest in somebody to help you and to link arms with them, or you join one of my programs or hire me as a one-on-one. Then I can help guide you through these like hiccups a whole lot faster because I can see your label from outside the bottle. I can see what you're doing and I can guide you through that, right? But unless you have all the tools on your own to keep your energy and your alignment aligned with the level of sales that you want to make, and you're staying open to receiving those and cutting out all of these rules that you've made about who and who can buy, what they're going to buy, when they're going to buy it, where they're going to get it from, what kind of support they're going to need, how much of you they're going to require. Like that's when, if you don't have that energy and alignment all locked in tight, you could start to experience income dips or flopped launches or funnels that don't convert or sales that just don't pass by a certain amount because at a certain level you're allowing yourself to feel the energy to like a 1 or a 2, but you're not allowing it to compound to like a 4, an 8, a 12, a 20, a 30 or whatever. And so it takes this energy management to be able to consistently compound your results and get the results that you really want and not allow outside forces. It's the kind of thing where like nothing gets in your way. Not even a hurricane gets in your way of showing up and being available to make money, right? Or being available to make sales. Let me look at the comments. So the fish don't see the water it swims in. Yeah, and right, that's true. It is like you can't. The poor fish doesn't realize how big the tank is, or how big Shamu's used to be compared to a goldfish tank. Like Shamu had a pretty big one, but compared to the ocean, it's not that big. Okay, so the thing is though, and what I want to reflect here on is this is all important because this really all starts with you and you being open to a 10,000% being the one. And so I want you to drop it in the chat, or you can write it down or say it out loud yourself if you're watching on the replay. But what does being the one mean to you? I want to hear what hear your take on this. And then, yeah, help, come. I was going to say, help me out, but no, like, help me understand, where you're coming from. Like, to me, being the one is, kind of being the one somebody's searching for to help them guide, like the perfect complement to where they want to be in their life or their business, right? Being the one. Yeah. I answered your question before you even know. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you need to be okay with being the one. And we're going to talk about being the one today on this in this session, because this is 100% connected to whether your funnel is going to flop or be successful. Okay. Because there's this outer perception of how people see you. right? People are going to see you as, oh my God, look at so and so. She is so successful. Like, look at, look, I know, so Kristen was talking yesterday. Look at Kristen. She's got like her messaging, she's got her legal things all, locked tight. She speaks in events. She's got, these great um like a lot of things in the works, like a lot of big ideas in the works, right? And but if Kristen is sitting there, and I'm not saying she is, but let's just say like a fictional Kristen, if she's sitting there thinking, well, I don't know if this is going to be enough to sell, right? Or what is that person doing over there? Because I want to see what they're doing first before I do what I'm going to do, just to make sure that I'm on the right track, right? Like this is something I used to do all the time. And I think it comes from being forced to get straight A's as a kid and being, having a lot of perfectionism tendencies, wanting it to be right the first time because there was punishment for it being wrong the first time. And so I connected those two together with it not being safe to be wrong and not being safe to admit your failure. And so if there's that kind of show, that's going to degrade the amount. Like if you start yourself with like a big ball of energy that's like, let's just say it's like a chocolate chip cookie, right? And like every single time you think, oh my God, but it's not perfect enough, let me just hang on before I implement this. It's like a chocolate chip falls out of that cookie every single time. And so it's like chip, no pun intended. I really did not intend to say chipping away, but hey, we're going to go with it. But like chipping away at this cookie that is literally it's like a analogy or a metaphor for the belief that you have in yourself. And so we've got to be 100% energy behind you, yourself, your offers, your audience in order for this funnel to even work for you. Because I could teach you the strategy. Hell, you could Google a strategy on how to create a passive funnel, right? But you chose to come here, or you're choosing to watch on the replay because we had a ton of people watching on the replay, and you're choosing to do this breath work because okay, there's some energetic alignment that I can still get behind. Something's calling me to this, right? And so let me look at your thing. It said aiding, okay, being of service without knowing I was supposed to be. Well, in being the one, you know that you're of service. That's when you are embodying being the one, that's when you already know that you're of service and you're supposed to be out there being service, aiding somebody else's transformation and seeing the relief in their eyes when their realization occurs. Yes, yeah. It's like that breakthrough, that transformation, being a conduit and a catalyst for somebody's life or business changing dramatically because of the service you provide or the products you provide. Literally, you can feel that like energy shift when it happens. Okay. You can feel the energy shift when, like, I've worked with clients on their messaging and they've been like stuck around it for a long time. And so it's made them kind of get mad, like results in their content, right? Or even in their sales pitches. And so when we just make little minor tweaks, you're able to like shift it completely. And then the energy, it's like the air just returns like back into the room, right? Like you can like have a total, deep breath. I love that transformation. And so we've got to be okay with being required and needed by the communities and the audiences and the movements and the revolutions that you are creating, because this honestly is way more than you just creating another passive course, creating an opt-in page that then sends the people to your sales page and then they buy it and then bam, you make money. Like this whole thing is way bigger because there's a ripple effect that's going to happen when you and your offer is purchased. It happens in your life. There's a ripple effect that's going to happen in this other person's life. And then who knows where that's going to lead them, right? Who knows what path those ripple effects are going to lead both of you guys on. And so, but it all starts with you being the one that creates that ripple effect, okay? And being okay with being that one. So, what does it really, when you come down to the strategy, what does sales in your sleep take from you? Or take, not take from you, but take of you, okay? Like, really, to make sales in your sleep, you need two things: an offer, and you need the belief that it's going to sell. So you've got to really let go of anything that's telling you about that it's about the time that it's going to take to put together the funnel, how perfect the funnel needs to be. It's not about like the belief, or it's about the belief that it's going to sell. And it's also, that belief is going to start with the conviction in you being enough to be the one that they need right now. All right, because I've heard from people too, and there are times where I've had to think about this, especially in the delivery of your offer. You have to think about the transformation and what's going to be best for the people that are buying this, right? Even if it's on, especially if it's, excuse me, like on a passive system. Like, for example, sales on demand. You could be watching this video 3 years after I record it right now, because these videos that we're doing for sales in your sleep are going to become bonuses for sales on demand. They might be given out in a different program too. I don't know. I'm just trying to serve as many people as possible and as efficiently as possible. But also, sales on demand, I plan on having it as a passive offer. So I'm going to teach you about creating passive offers and how to use breath work with it, and also turn it into a passive offer. So like right now, during this initial launch in March of 2024, the sales on demand has not started yet, right? So we're going to have, I had to sit with myself and think about, okay, what's going to be the best results that these, clients that are going to take this course and be in this program with me, that they're going to get. And I had to think about the delivery there. And and that's why I added a Telegram group for the first group that comes through, where you're going to have the opportunity to have 2 weeks in Telegram as you implement this, to help with accountability and also for Q&As as you get started. Now, I'm not the tech person, right? This program has nothing to do with the tech that it takes or the tech choices you make for implementing your passive system. This just goes through with the actual design of and blueprint of a passive sales system that allows you to sell your services, your products, your things on demand, to have it whenever you want it. It's kind of sexy, right? Like, you feel like the sexy sales magnet, like somebody who can just get it whenever she wants it, right? And so that's what passive sales means to me. I can make sales whenever I want to, whenever I want to promote these things, whenever I want to tell somebody about it, they go watch the training and they buy the program, right? And so when questions come up for you around, the messaging versus, I'm not sure what your question is, the messaging versus the tool used for the funnels. Can you expand a little bit more on that? I'm not really seeing know where you're coming from. But yeah, so so I had to think about like the delivery, for example. And so I decided, as we have the sales on demand that's starting right now, it's going to include modules, of course, on how to put together your passive funnel, front to back, how to, the steps you need to take, how to write your emails, what types of emails to write on the back end, what types of content to create on the front end, what kind of things to have in the middle for your funnel. But then I'm also going to have breath works that I record in advance for it that help guide you through what you actually want to, put out into the world in your funnel, the exact types of messaging you want to create for your funnel, the type of content you want to create for it. Okay, gotcha. And, I'm answering your question now. Yeah. So you have like the strategy of how to do it. And I give you this another module on the strategy of how to create your easy, very tangible messaging. And it's going to be in very digestible lessons, because I've done this where it's been like a 2-hour lesson before, and it overwhelmed me a little bit because I'm like, where is this part in the lesson? I'm not really sure. So I want to have it be very digestible lessons for you where, you don't need 8 hours to learn how to do this. You need to implement it. You need to take action. And that's what this program is all about. It's all about taking the action, getting it in place, and then having that like the easy breezy body to go along with it, where you are embodied behind and your energy's behind every single part of what you're selling here so that you can sell the crap out of it. Okay. And so that easily, as you're creating this funnel, it sells itself in your mind, which helps you sell itself when it goes to actually be on sale. So adding the Telegram group for my sales on demand program allows me to get more intimately in depth with you as you're going through it, and anticipate some extra questions and frequently ask questions that somebody might have when they're going through it passively years down the road when they buy it off my website or buy it off Instagram, or if I'm, selling it through a training that's like an opt-in training, right? Do you see where this goes? So you've got to think about all of that, but also, you know, that whatever it takes to get that confidence and belief and get that energy behind what you're selling. Okay. And so there's obviously going to be like questions that come up in your head around selling a passive offer. So you can drop it in here, drop it in the chat. What comes up for you? Like, what are those kind of like limiting thoughts, or like, oh, but it's going to be hard, or, oh, it's going to take a lot of time, or will they be okay with a self-paced course? Is that enough? Is it enough of my energy to put forth through it? Is somebody going to buy this passively, like without much support from you? So like if you're used to delivering a messaging program in person, you might have a question in the back of your mind asking, or a voice in the back of your mind asking, like, is somebody going to buy this without having the actual live support from me? Is this going to be, and then like it naturally, it's like a cascade, right? That's why doing this breath work day after day after day after day is, it like compounds on itself, because you start to see all these silly things that have been like dying to come out of you. You know what I mean? You're like, oh shit, I didn't even know that was there. That's crazy. And so I do mine over and over and over again. There's a couple that my mentor has that are like my hotspots that I go back to. Let me look at the questions. All of the above. Okay, so you have all the same questions that I was asking too. Releasing, yeah, all those resistances. Exactly. Exactly. So it says, so those Telegram sessions will form part of your passive program. So yeah. So the way I've designed it is, starting with the first group that goes through Sales on Demand, including people who have obviously already signed up for it. For the group that comes through Sales on Demand, the pre-work starts on the 31st. So this Sunday, I'm gonna have a module that drops, and it's a fire. It's like so good. It's so good. These modules that are gonna drop that are really going to like light your momentum on fire. And I'm really excited to put them in there. They were like very, very well received, and they like the results that came out have been amazing. And so that pre-work is going to start next week. And then the Telegram group, I'm going to sell Sales on Demand for the next 2 weeks, continue to sell it, allow people to come in. Obviously the price keeps going up the longer I'm selling it, until it, gets to its price. And then on the 14th of April is when, or the 15th, whatever that Monday is, our 15th, my brother's birthday, on the 15th of April, the Telegram group opens. And so this is going to be a 2-week container for, like I'm going to have it as like a guided Q&A to mirror the course, to kind of like, allow you, as you're going through it, to not only have accountability, but also run ideas past me, or ask questions that I may have not anticipated when I was, creating the course itself. And so all of these Telegram trainings are going to turn into like a private podcast that will be a bonus and an access, like an extra module inside the Sales on Demand program. So the people who come through the program afterwards, who buy it passively through my passive sales funnel, are going to get access to all those major trainings where they're going to be able to, because most of those questions are very frequently asked, right? They're going to be common questions that people are like, oh yeah, I had that one too. Or if I'm seeing like common stumbling blocks around, not getting started, and there needs to be some like mindset resets going on there, then those riffs are going to be turned into a private resource that comes along as an accompaniment for this course. And not many people do that. And I think it's like brilliant because it gives you that extra support where you feel like, oh my God, I feel like you're in my head kind of thing. You know what I mean? So, and also I think it's great because it can be broken out, by topic so that you can, as you're going through the course and you're implementing it, you might see, oh, well, here's this extra training here on what to do when I feel stuck around my messaging or stuck around my idea, or I don't feel like taking the action to put the freaking thing together. You know what I mean? Like to put the freaking funnel together. Or you notice yourself procrastinating, and maybe I've created a training around that. Like I'm psychic but not that psychic around like what are the questions going to be when we start this thing in 2 weeks. But again, it's gonna be beautiful and it's gonna be fun. Did that answer all your questions? So, yeah, so the Telegram sessions will form part of your passive system. Yeah. Well, they're gonna go into the course as part of my passive course, as part of this sales on demand becoming a passive offer that people can hop into at any time. And then when you join the course, you'll see how I'm gonna plan on selling it. I'm overwhelmed with the tech side, so not sure how to manage that. Well, that's yeah, and I get that. I get that because, but it's super easy. It can be very, very, very simple on how to deliver that. Okay, like I think so like and it's not very expensive at all. There is like there's obviously like the hosting and the things like that. Like I don't tell you to go to a certain one. I'm going to share which things that I use and how I use them, but it's super easy. Like I literally set up a funnel yesterday after our course and it took me like an hour. It took me like a total of an hour to do it. So it doesn't need to take a long time. It's just getting started. Believe it or not, like when I started doing breath work, like I could have started doing these breath work sessions 6 months ago, but the thing that held me back was um the like the sound. Like how do I get my music to come through the computer? How do I put together a playlist? Like that kind of stupid shit was holding me back from transforming lives through the breath work that I facilitate. And that's how kooky our minds can be and how in our own way that we can get. And I remember thinking, oh, well, one day, because I was overwhelmed with that, but it was seriously, it's a 5-second fix that took me 2 minutes on a YouTube video to get the training on. So don't be overwhelmed with the tech side. You can always like you can it doesn't have to be an overwhelming thing. Don't let that be the reason why. Yeah, the barriers we put in front of us. Don't let the tech side be the reason why you choose not to go transform somebody's life today. Because everything's fixable. Everything is fixable. Everything is figure outable too. And there are so many platforms now that make it easy. Like and make it so easy to set these things up. Like I use Podia. I still have used it for 3 years and I don't even know how to like pronounce it. But like I use that for my course. Like I sell my courses on there and I deliver the course content through there most of the time. You could even like deliver it through Facebook if you wanted to as well, like create a simple funnel that then sends people after they buy, it sends them to Facebook. Like you can do a bunch of different things, but I like hosting it on my own platform because I have control over that, and I can integrate my emails with that platform too. And Podia means feet. Oh yeah, I guess it does. Well, that's cool. when we're going to be going to Greece. We're going to Greece in early June. Actually, we leave the last Friday in May. So I'm all about Greece for sure. Okay, let me get back on topic. Like I love it. I love these conversations though. And I love, see, this is why I'm doing the Telegram group, because I love all these questions that come up and I'm able to easily answer them and give additional trainings around it. And then you have it for life, you know? Okay. But like seriously, that from a text perspective, if that's what's holding you back from creating a funnel, all of these tech providers, like all of the email providers that are out there have amazing like support that you can call in and get help with. Um, like even, there's course hosting platforms like Kajabi or Teachable or Podia or like that make it really simple. I mean, some of them are more expensive than others, like month to month. I think Podia is like $300 a month. I mean, shit, a year. So it's not very much at all. But, I'm open to I'm open to always switching to something else if it means it'll be like an easier interface or an easier, like a higher converting checkout page or whatever. Like you start to be able to fumble around with all of that stuff, but there's super easy automations now that help automate this whole passive process where you get to literally decide where you want to like host and deliver all of your stuff. So don't let that be a big thing. Okay, so that's what comes up for you. All right, because it's really going to come down to that confidence and belief in yourself, right? Is it going to be enough for them to implement what I teach them and get the full value of me, right? You see these themes that are coming and putting like the full value of me that I'm putting into this. Is it going to translate through? And so removing all of this garbage and all of these thoughts is going to be the key to, really like having a successful passive system. Okay, because the beliefs that you have are going to breed the actions that you take, and whether you have a lot of rules for yourself that you create for yourself or not, so that you can have all the steps to put together like a super converting funnel and a really pretty one too. And, which by the way, like I said, mine are super duper easy to do so that you can have it all put together in a day. It's a process that I'm going to teach you in the Sales in Demand program. But if your mind is secretly saying things like, yikes, is this all going to be worth it? Or is it going to be worth the time I put into it? Then you're going to sit on your genius idea forever. The people who you're meant to help are not going to ever get your help, and they're going to have to go to somebody else, which sucks because that person is probably not as amazing as you. And then but you've got to believe in you. You got to believe that you can do this, that you can take the action to do this. Okay. And and that belief is going to come from you fully being the one. So, and getting to a place where it's safe to be the one right now who's meant to deliver the thing that you want to deliver. And like when I say deliver this, I'm not speaking simply just to coaches, okay? You don't have to be a coach, you don't have to be a healer. You could be a lawyer and create passive funnels around certain legal issues that are common that you want to attract more clients in, right? Like say you're just like a tax attorney, but you want to, like, I know like one of the ladies who came through my breath work, she's a tax like a tax specialist. And so she wanted to attract a certain type of person having a certain type of tax issues, but she could also help them with setting up like estates or, in a tax friendly way and things like that. And so what she was finding is people would come in for this type of offer, but not for this type of offer. And so you could create a passive funnel where it's got a passive training that teaches them about the types of offers that you want to sell more of. And then they're sending themselves your way. And so they're like coming through in waves without you having to go out and find them. They're able to see you through what you're presenting online or in person or whatever, right? And yeah, believing you're the one, that's right. I love it. So we're going to do that. We're going to do it today. You're going to get to this place where it's safe to be the one right now who's meant to deliver exactly what you're meant to deliver. And this means all of you coming out, nothing hiding, no parts asking, what should I say to make sales? No parts asking, will they stay on, like, this used to be one, will they stay on my training longer if I say this? Or will they dip off and then get unengaged, right? Like, we can't be doing any of that. There has to be all of what you want to say, all of what you want to do, all of what you want to sell, and how you want to say it, how you personally want to say it. So not tailoring it just for a certain person who reached out to your DMs yesterday or called you yesterday on the phone who may or may not buy, okay? So we're going to get into the breath work. Does that make sense? Drop me a yes in the chat if that makes sense and if that really lands. And if this is like, I'd love to hear what your biggest aha moment is so far as well from what we've covered already today. Yes, funneling our unique niches to us. Yeah. Yes, because you're the only one who can deliver what you're meant to deliver in the way that only you can deliver it. Okay? Like, for me to come out, I feel like the reason why my breath work, adding this into my sales coaching, has been so successful is because, and it's felt so natural, is because I've allowed myself to be myself instead of trying to fit into this mold of what a breathwork coach needs to be. Like, as you'll see, even through the music I choose, it's not your grandma's breath work, right? It's not the normal. And just wait till you get into today because it might make you chuckle in the middle of it because I've added some real fun songs to the playlist today. But I remember going to yoga classes and being so inspired by the people who had rap music in their yoga because I'd be like, damn, yeah, this is good. But it's not the normal, like, twinkling bells or whatever the fuck, like, oh, you know what I mean? It was like, yeah, I can really get my energy behind this. This is pulling out what I need to pull out. So filtering away, yes, those not meant for you, filter all of them away, right? Because that's heavy. It's heavy to work with people who are not meant for you. I feel like we can always learn lessons from them that then you can use in your content to filter them out even more. But this is going to be, like, it's so important and integral to be able to do that. So yeah. Okay. So I'm actually going to do, I was going to filter this out. I might actually, I'm going to stop this recording and start the recording.